Hey guys, Leslie here. Sorry, I haven't seen you for a while. I was taking August off. In Europe, it's sort of traditional to take all of August off. So I've been on sabbatical and very busy working on a project, which is to bring a supplement that is inspired by Oxford University research to my friends and family in the United States. You can also get it overseas, but no duty, no customs, cheap postage if you're in the States. So I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video, but today's topic is around sleep. So my last video was around skincare, and if I really had to choose one huge biohack for good skin in our 50s and 60s, it would be beauty sleep. I mean, it's called that for a reason, right? And it's probably going to seem like a bit of a cop-out to talk about sleep, but women especially have trouble with their sleep as they go into perimenopause, menopause, and become postmenopausal. And there are a couple of reasons why, but a big one is because our hormones change and we don't produce as much progesterone as we used to. So most people think of the classic female hormones as being progesterone and estrogen. And as we get older, those both decline in amount. And the other thing that happens is that if we are stressed, chronically stressed, we're escalating another hormone called cortisol. And can you guess what cortisol is made from? Progesterone. So if you don't have enough progesterone, you're not going to deal with stress very well either. You're not going to be able to elevate your cortisol to have the energy to deal with whatever situation it is you need to deal with. Conversely, if you blow through your progesterone stores, making cortisol, and you continually elevate your cortisol at night, you're going to, one, keep yourself wide awake at night because cortisol keeps you alert, looking out for a threat. But you also won't have progesterone, which is needed to actually sleep well. So progesterone turns out to be a really important hormone, and it's a reason why when female clients come to me and say, I'm not sleeping, I'm tearing my hair out, I'm exhausted, I'm wired and tired, I always suggest that they speak with their doctors about hormone replacement therapy and a small amount of oral progesterone. So you can get progesterone in little capsules. Here in the UK, a very common one is called Utrogest. You can get it on the National Health Service for a very small sum of money, probably even free if you don't earn so much. And it's around 100 milligrams. It works terrific for sleep. And you can also, of course, get progesterone in creams. And this particular one comes from California. And the difference between a cream and a capsule is that oral progesterone tends to stick around in the body for longer. So if you want to sleep throughout the night, probably oral progesterone will keep you sleeping for longer. If you take a topical like this, which is actually slightly higher strength there, you can see that one, that's Dr. Michael Platt's 5% progesterone. This is a higher percentage than you'll find in your pharmacy, and you can get it from his shop online. I don't know him, but I think his work is really interesting. You just take that and you literally put it on the inside of your forearms where the skin is thinner, and it absorbs very quickly. And really within minutes, you will just start to relax. This works great. This topical progesterone works really well if you have anxious thoughts and you can't get to sleep. If you are angry and you've just got, you've got a head of steam and you need to blow it off, progesterone acts as an agonist to adrenaline. So it will actually just calm you right down. And it's, as I mentioned, it's good for sleep. Over time, you'll want to apply this not to your forearms. You'll want to mix it up. So you might apply it to, sort of the area under your armpit, because there's thin skin there, or the inner thighs as well. So progesterone is really important, and that was certainly a game changer for me personally. So that's one of my big tips. Another thing that I really like is magnesium. So here are two examples. This is a British brand, and they work with the Institute for Functional Medicine with all their formulations. Nutri have been around for decades. And Pure Encapsulations, which is another physician-prescribed brand in the United States with really good quality standards. And this is a powder. Actually, both of these are powders, and you just dissolve them in water and drink them before bed. And this one also will help with any kind of leg cramps that you might get if you're, in the night. So it's not going to take them away immediately, but it will make things better. So magnesium, you could start with maybe 150 to 250 milligrams and then work up. I take 500 milligrams every night, and I sleep really well. Then there is melatonin. Now, a lot of people like melatonin. Sadly, we can't get it here in the UK, but most everybody else in the world can get it. And melatonin is a hormone that we naturally produce if we allow ourselves to be exposed to the natural cycle of daylight. So I've mentioned before that we have photoreceptors in our eyes that have absolutely nothing to do with eyesight, but they are just there to basically check the light. Sorry, that sound is my dog who's trying to dig a little bed. Anyway, back to the photoreceptors. Those photoreceptors just tell our bodies what time of day it is, because at certain times of day, it's kind of like, breakfast is at this time, lunch is at this time, or your bus comes at this time. It's the same for certain body functions. And when light starts to come up in the morning, our bodies produce cortisol to prepare us for the challenges of the day ahead. So cortisol is very high in the morning. As the day goes on and light begins to fade in the afternoon, cortisol production goes down and melatonin production goes up. Melatonin is known as the sleep hormone. Unfortunately, our photoreceptors get all sorts of screwed up messages from these digital devices, laptops, TVs, overhead lights, which all emit blue spectrum light. And that tells our body to keep making cortisol to stay alert and awake. But it downregulates production of melatonin. So sometimes supplementing with melatonin helps. Generally, you can get, like I said, you can get this in the United States really easily. They usually start around the 1 milligram mark. Some people do better on smaller amounts. So this particular supplement, which is from Bulletproof, has around 325 micrograms of melatonin as opposed to 1 milligram. Other people say that as we get older, they need more. We're all bio-individuals, so you have to kind of play around with this and see what you respond to better. But generally, it seems like you can titrate up to 10 milligrams pretty safely. So those are all the sleep hacks that I have been working with over the last 7 years to perfect my sleep. I won't go into the chili pad here, which is a cooling device. I'll do that in another episode about devices and other bedroom hacks you can use. But recently, I have started experimenting with this supplement that was inspired by research conducted here at the University of Oxford around immunity. And one thing that I noticed when I first started taking it was that it did seem to increase my sleep, but it wasn't a really reliable thing. And I was told I should take it with food because the supplement, which is called Spermidine, triggers autophagy. Now, there's the supplement that I've helped bring out. The interesting thing about Spermidine is that since I've been trying it and others have been trying it too, I just sort of messed around, as you do. And, I'd forget to take it earlier in the day, and I think I should really take that. It's good for me. And I took it right before bed one night. And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this little ring, but this is my Aura ring. And this great company out of Finland, shout out to the team there. CTO is ex-Polar, the strap, the heart monitoring strap, and the team is also ex-Nokia. So they've done a great job with this. It weighs just nothing, and it monitors my deep sleep, my REM sleep, my heart rate variability, my pulse, my body temperature. It can predict if I'm about to get a cold or not. It's been used by UCSF to predict whether or not people are going to get a viral infection, including COVID. And I noticed that with this ring, taking the Spermidine right before bed, I was getting an extra hour to an hour and a half, that's extra, of deep sleep. So Dave Asprey, who's the father of biohacking, and truth in advertising, I was one of the first bulletproof coaches here in Europe. So I was an early adopter. He has always said, you want to get 90 minutes of REM sleep and 90 minutes of deep sleep. And so that's been my benchmark. And as we get older, you've probably heard, your grandparents have complained, I can't get to sleep. I need the radio to sleep. I can't sleep at all. Your sleep does suffer as you get older. And so 90 minutes of REM and 90 minutes of deep is a lot. But I started getting 2 hours, then 2.5 hours, then 3 hours of deep sleep. And I was also getting the hour and a half of REM sleep. And I just thought, this is very strange. This is too much to be a blip. This is the only thing that I have changed. So others have tried it as well, and they're getting the same results. Now, there are no studies on sleep and Spermidine. This is just sort of, N equals 1 stuff, but it was so impactful to have an additional 33 to 50% more deep sleep. I was astonished and thought I should really share it with you guys, because beauty sleep is not just there to look beautiful on the inside, it's to help you look beautiful on the outside, it's there to help you look beautiful on the inside too. And what we know about deep sleep, since a research team at Cornell University published their results in 2016, is that deep sleep is when the compartments of the brain, the different parts of the brain actually shrink up, and they allow these little rivers and channels of cerebrospinal fluid to flow in between those different compartments of the brain. And they are actually taking away debris from the brain. So things like amyloid plaques, which are implicated in Alzheimer's disease, tau tangles, these things can then be swept away using that cerebrospinal channel. But it only happens when you go into deep sleep or when you are anesthetized. So they observed this in mice. And they have hypothesized, not yet proven, that nutrients are going in as well as debris coming out. So that's the idea, and that's the benefit of deep sleep, is to not just look great on the outside, but to look great on the inside. Now, I've got one other thing I want to mention here about beauty sleep and how you sleep and deep sleep. So one of the things that they noticed about deep sleep was that actually your sleep position mattered. And by sleep position, that means, some of us are back sleepers, some of us are side sleepers, but it turns out sleeping on the side, where your heart is on your left side, actually seemed to promote deep sleep more. Now, the unfortunate thing is that you're going to get more of a wrinkle in the nasolabial folds here, which is not too pretty, sorry. And I know a lot of people are sleeping on their backs as a way to prevent wrinkles on their face. So I have tried that. Yes, you can sleep train yourself to not sleep on your side so you don't get creases on your face. The problem is if you want more deep sleep so that you actually can, make sure you don't get things like Alzheimer's, dementia, subjective cognitive decline, it's better to actually sleep on your side. So a good compromise would be a silk pillowcase, which doesn't actually catch the skin with the fibers, but is a lot softer and doesn't pull. So those are my sleep tips, my beauty sleep tips for great skin and great brain health too. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below. I will answer the most frequently asked question. You've probably noticed I have so many questions now. I could spend an entire day just answering questions because you've all found me on Instagram, or I don't know, you found an email address for me, and it gets harder and harder to answer every single question, though I really want to, and I love connecting with all of you. But the questions most frequently asked will be the ones that I will answer going forward, and I hope you all can understand that. Equally, if you like content like this, please click subscribe, share this with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.